Hey there, decision makers of the world. Welcome to today's deep dive into that fascinating, frustrating, and sometimes downright funny thing we all do every day, making decisions. I'm Mind Mystery, and today, we're going to crack open the brain and see how our emotions sneak their way into our choices. Spoiler alert, it's a lot more than you think. Section 1, what is decision making? Let's start with the basics. Decision making sounds simple, right? You weigh the pros and cons, maybe flip a coin, and boom, decision made. But hold on a second. Did you know that the average adult makes about 35,000 decisions a day? That's like choosing between 35,000 different types of cereal in a grocery store. No wonder we get a little tired by lunchtime. Now, not all decisions are life-changing. Some are as simple as deciding what to have for breakfast. But whether it's cereal or a career move, emotions are always in the mix, whispering in our ear and sometimes shouting at the top of their lungs. Section 2, the role of emotions. Emotions are the secret sauce of decision-making. They're like that friend who gives you advice, sometimes helpful, sometimes not so much. Think about it. Ever made a decision when you were angry or super happy? Chances are, those decisions didn't exactly follow the logic train. Emotions can hijack our rational thinking, leading us down paths we might not take if we were cool, calm, and collected. But here's the twist: emotions aren't the enemy. In fact, they're crucial to making good decisions. They add that human touch, help us gauge what's important, and give us those gut feelings we often rely on. Section 3, cognitive biases. Now, let's talk cognitive biases. Imagine your brain is a supercomputer, but like all computers, it has a few bugs. These bugs, or biases, are shortcuts our brain takes to make decision-making faster and easier. But sometimes they lead us astray. Take the confirmation bias, for example. This is when we favor information that confirms what we already believe and ignore the rest. It's like having a debate with someone and only listening to the parts where they agree with you. Handy for winning arguments. Not so much for making balanced decisions. Then there's the availability heuristic, fancy term, right? It's when we base decisions on information that's most readily available, like making travel plans based on the last horror story we heard. Statistically rare, but emotionally vivid. Section 4, real-life examples. Let's bring it all together with some real-life examples. Say you're picking a job. Logically, you might weigh salary, location, and benefits. But then, emotions kick in. Maybe one job just feels right because it aligns with your values. Or maybe you have a gut feeling about the people there. Or take buying a house. You've got your checklist: price, neighborhood, commute time, but then you walk into one place and bam, it just feels like home. That's emotion nudging you to make a decision that feels personal, even if it's not purely logical. Section 5, tips for better decision making. So, how do we make better decisions knowing all this? Here are a few tips. Pause before deciding. Give yourself time to cool off, especially if you're feeling emotional. A short break can prevent a rash decision. Acknowledge your biases. Be aware of your cognitive biases. Just knowing they exist can help you counteract them. Consult others sometimes. A second opinion can provide a perspective your emotions might be clouding. Trust your gut, but verify. Emotions are valuable, but balance them with logic. If something feels right, double-check the facts. At the end of the day, emotions are an integral part of our decision-making toolkit. They can guide us, inspire us, and sometimes lead us astray. But with a little awareness, we can harness their power to make choices that truly reflect who we are. So next time you're faced with a big decision, remember your brain, your heart, and maybe even a little humor are all in it together. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this dive into decision-making, hit that like button, subscribe, and let us know in the comments what's the toughest decision you've ever had to make. Until next time, keep those emotions in check, or at least try to.